Good morning, Jacqueline. It looks like you took last week's prompt of procrastination to heart. Bold choice. You got moxie, kid. This week should be a fun one, I hope. Now, I've seen my fair share of movies. Some would say more than my fair share, but it is what it is. But I assure you, there are still many 1,000 films not notched on my belt. And yet you can bet whatever you're willing to bet that I have already formed preconceived notions of some of these movies. What I'm going to do is go ahead and summarize 3 of these films that I haven't seen, but based on pop culture and my own intuition, I think they're actually about. First is Cars, a Disney Pixar film from 2006 with Owen Wilson and Bonnie Hunt. From what I can tell, this one has anthropomorphic cars living in some sort of terrifying world where there are no humans, yet there are seats compatible for humans within them. And Lightning McQueen is the main character. He's kind of a rich, hotshot city boy until he gets caught drinking one too many times with the gang, and his patron, his grandfather, sends him to the country to learn some discipline with his relatives. So now he's stuck in the sticks, and this town is so backwards. Think in Footloose when no one was allowed to dance because it was immoral. This is the car version, so no one's allowed to race because it's quite immoral. Lightning McQueen comes into town and he's a stud and he's ready to race. He sees his old buddy, the pickup truck with the bad teeth and the southern accent, and they know they want to race. And then Lightning McQueen falls in love with the gorgeous, dashing blue car. I don't know her name. The blue car is the Reverend's daughter, except I think it's Doc. So of course she can't go racing until he corners her one night and says, "You know what you need? You need a good race." And she said, "You don't know what I need, Lightning McQueen. When was the last time you thought of anyone but yourself? Right now I'm thinking about you and how much you need to race." "You're not thinking about me, you're thinking about yourself and how much you'd like to race with me." And then somehow their little altercation ends with them actually racing. And then he realizes, hey, this is a swell girl. I should race with her every day, forever, as long as we both shall live. And so they decide we have to get racing back in town. And through many, I'm sure, musical escapades, they manage it. I know what you're saying with this one, though. Renee, Disney is an innovative company, and they're not just gonna blatantly take the plot line from a classic like Footloose. I have 3 words to say to that. Lion King, Hamlet. Next is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes from 1953 with Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe. I think in this one, Jane Russell's having a competition with Marilyn Monroe about how many guys they can get to want to marry them or peruse them, whatever in 1953 they called that. Of course, because Jane Russell's losing, she says to Marilyn Monroe, "It's not my fault, you're blonde. Gentlemen prefer blondes." So, to prove a point, Marilyn Monroe starts wearing a wig. Problem is, she starts falling for one of these guys, and worse yet, he knows her as a redhead. So they're at a party one night, and it's been a while, so they're certainly attached to each other, and they're holding each other as they're dancing, and a waiter comes along with a tray. On the edge of the tray, as only can happen in films, it attaches to her wig and gets yanked off, and she is revealed. "Oh, Cecil, I'm having such a lovely time dancing." "Why, Marilyn Monroe's character, your hair has fallen off and there's blonde underneath. You've deceived me." This is seen as an insult to his manhood, and now they can't be together ever. Till Jane Russell comes along and says to him, "Cecil, that girl loves you. She's always loved." I think in the end Marilyn Monroe dyes her hair, or maybe they just stay blonde because after all, gentlemen prefer blondes. I don't know what the moral is to this movie. My last one is American Beauty from 1999 with Kevin Spacey and Thora Birch. It's a middle-income family in the suburbs, and the wife is a really crabby real estate agent, and the dad is going through something, as dads do, and the dad's like, "Hey, this cousin is really something I should work out." So he works out and he starts fiddling with the cousin, and then the mom is like, "There's this homophobic father next door, why don't I just peruse that for a second?" And Thora Birch is going up to her friend and is like, "My life totally sucks my life," and her friend is like, "You have no right to say that. You're in middle class America with a family and money." Thora Birch says, "Angela, shut up. I'm allowed to have my own problems too. My best friend is probably gay and I made out with him last week." And then Angela says, "You know, I'm not one to talk. I made out with your father last week." So they sit down and realize, you know what? It's okay that our lives are terrible. But at the end of the day, at least they are American beauties. at least they are in America, and at least they are attractive, and those are two helpful things. I'm hoping to be at least 40% right with these films. Anyways, Jacqueline, I can't wait to see what films you come up. I'll see you on Thursday.